So I'm out here on this Weil-McLain boiler. I was doing maintenance a couple days ago out here, and I was noticing the water pressure was super low. I have this little gauge right here, and it was reading, at the time it was reading about 5 psi. And I usually like seeing in between 12 to 15 psi, so I knew that was pretty low. I tried to bleed out the little radiators, any air or anything like that was in it, and on one of them I was bleeding out the air, and all the air came out, and then eventually it just went to nothing, so there's like no water. It wasn't auto filling up with water like they typically will. So I went back and I kind of tested this guy right here, and I was trying to get it to manually fill, and it was not filling up. So I ended up ordering the part. Like I said, I don't do a ton with boilers. My parts house was basically telling me that was no longer available. So I ended up getting this guy right here, this pre-adjustable filling valve. And it's actually a lot nicer because you can manually set whatever water pressure you want up top. You can go, like, it looks like it goes anywhere from 0 all the way to like 60 or something like that. So I think it comes preset up at 15, so I just left it at the 15 for now. I had to do a little bit of changes here to get everything to tie in, but it was super easy to do. Shut water off at all the valves here, and I usually just shut all the water valves off just to kind of make sure nothing's draining out or anything like that, just to kind of err on the side of caution. So I shut everything off. I obviously make note of what was open and closed before I get started. And this is my incoming water line here, so I shut this guy off. Was able to get this old stuff out. It went pretty easy. I had to cut it out just because everything was kind of seized. I couldn't get this guy to loosen, so I just cut it off. And then got my new fitting on. Like I said, tied everything in, and then this is just like my pressure relief here. It relieves at 30 psi, so if I get up to 30 psi, it's gonna basically let out air and built up pressure and water out the bottom right here. It's an opening. On this one here, you can also add another little pressure gauge if you'd like. This right here will unscrew out, and I already have one here, but I could add another one here if I wanted to. Also, it has this built-in valve. You can valve this off as well if you needed to for any reason. There's also a cartridge in here that can be swapped out on maintenance if stuff isn't working right. You can basically valve it off and then unscrew this little screw up top, and there's a little cartridge you can replace from what I was seeing. But yeah, so I got this all filled up. So I basically, as soon as I got everything in, I opened up all my valves, and instantly I could hear the thing like filling up with water. So that was a good sign since it wasn't doing that before. And then I went to my registers, and I will go ahead and get up to a register real quick. Yeah, I'll be heading up to a register real quick, and I'll kind of show you the bleed off process I was doing. So I'll show you on this one. So you can see I got these like radiator style guys here. I got one over there as well, and I will basically go to every one of these, and they all have these little bleed valves. So I can have this little key right here, has a square head, and it just goes in here, and then you can just loosen it, and you can kind of purge this on a maintenance as well. So you can just let any of the air out of the boiler, and then when you're done, I usually have like a pan or something catching it, and I'll kind of bleed out a little bit of water until you kind of stop getting those bubbles out with the water, and then I just valve it right back off. Especially after doing something like this that was low, I'm going to definitely be bleeding off every one of these as well, and then I'll probably let it run for a little while, and then I'll probably go through the process one last time just to be safe. But yeah, that's kind of what I got going on here. It was a really easy repair. But yeah, I was pretty impressed with that new auto kind of water fill valve. So I should be good to go here. I mean, that was the only thing, is the boiler itself was a Weil-McLain, and it was actually working really well. and everything like that. So the actual function of the boiler was good. So if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please subscribe. And any of you boiler guys watching this, feel free to add some stuff down below. I mean, like I said, that's not my cup of tea. I'd say I'm pretty well rounded with everything, but that's not like my specialty by any means. So like I said, if you're a boiler guy, feel free to add some stuff. And thanks again for watching.